Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. I'm audible.
Yes, yes, Ravi sir. Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah, everything is fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so shall we start the session now, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so in the
Yes, sir.
last time we have done what is that? We discussed about that. What is that? What is the problem with what is that? jQuery and JavaScript issues we seen that, right? So then we come to know in one point what is that, like instead of what is that, using what is that in simple library, what we need to use it now, guys? We need to use what is that framework, right? Framework. So in that, what is that, we seen that multiple framework in the market, like multiple framework is there, but what is that, why Angular will become only what is that popular, why Angular JS only become popular now? And here we collaborated for to discuss what is that Angular JS and Angular framework only, right? Come on, please active yourself, guys, and like give the responses, then I
Yes,
can
Yes,
sir.
sir.
then I can make the session as an interactive session, guys. Okay, don't think about that. If you guys are involved in the session, I will inject the subject like too much easiest way in your brain, right? In your brain. And please control your finger also simultaneously. What
Okay,
is that?
Ravi.
If the people is joining with the mobile, please control your fingers, right? Otherwise I will not take fraction of second also to remove the session. I don't include in the session like these people who is not serious about their cell phone, guys. Okay, so please be serious about yourself, and you guys just don't think about that here. Just what is that, um time pass is going on, even though if you pay the money also, right, you cannot get the like this subject how how label I'm delivering the subject, guys. Okay, so if anybody is thinking about the time pass, Saturday, weekend, all those there, let's do the time pass here, so no need to stay. Even I said clearly, right, I don't want the counting number also in my session, right? If one member is there, that member, if one person is there in the session, if that person is serious about yourself, I will explain for them also with the same energy, with the same curiosity, and without skipping any content, right? So now, okay, so today we will discuss about that. What today we will discuss about that what is the Angular JS now, guys. Okay, what is the Angular JS now? So today we will understand what is the Angular JS now, guys. Okay, so why only Angular JS in the market, guys? Okay, see, if anybody is saying that what is that, this framework is being the developer, right? If the person is saying that what is that, like person is saying that only Angular is good, instead of what is the Ember JS, Knockout JS, and what is that, Backbone JS, this framework is for us. No, guys, no, every framework is good, like, but the thing is, if based on your requirement, if any framework, if any framework is meeting, that framework is little bit more uses is there. It's not meaning that by being a developer you can say this framework is good and this framework is not uses is there in the market, right? So if this kind of thought is there, remove from here onward. Being the developer, see, just the thing is some framework is meeting the people requirement, and some framework is not meeting their requirement. That's why the people is using different framework, and in between so many frameworks, only Angular JS only. Why Angular JS only became famous, right? So today we will understand each and every point, guys. Okay, today I will clarify what is the Angular JS and what is the difference between what is that Angular, right? So in this question ask the people in the first day only, right? So in the first day, how the possibility is there, everything I will inject in the single day only, guys, nothing, right? So I need, whatever, keep you, if any doubt is there, keep your doubt like till I'm not completing the basics, right? See, if I'm not touching those points, then put the finger on me. Hey Ravi, you did not explain these things, and even I'm confused. What is the difference between JavaScript and Angular JS, and what is the difference between Angular JS and Angular, right? So please keep like this kind of, if doubt is there, keep with you. Okay, keep with you. If I'm not clarifying those doubts, then tell me, guys. Okay, then tell me. So see, now let's start it, guys. Okay, so today we will start, what is that? Today we will start understanding what? Understanding Angular JS, right? Angular JS, and what is the problem with the Angular JS, right? What is the problem with what? Angular JS now. Okay, so what is Angular? Angular JS, right? What is Angular JS? Now we will understand these things now, guys. So Angular JS is, what is that? Angular JS is what? Angular JS is a framework and a open source and a cross platform, right? Cross platform. And who's developed this Angular framework now? Developed by, what is that? Developed by Google people, right, guys? Google people. And who's the maintaining Angular JS framework now? Maintained by, what is that? Large community of what? Large community of, what is that? Organization, right? Organization is there. Large community of, what is that? Organization is there. That organization is maintaining, what is that? Angular framework now, guys. Okay, Angular framework now. So this Angular framework is introduced in which area? Sorry, in which year now, guys? This Angular framework is introduced in the 2010. In which year now? 2010. But the thing is, like, instead of, what is that, these many frameworks are there, then why people is using Angular only? Why people is using, what is that, just Angular JS only? Because it is used, what is that, internally it use, what is that, Apache Cordova, guys. Okay, Apache Cordova. I think in the last session I discussed about that one also somewhere. Apache Cordova, right? Apache Cordova, and it uses, what is that, MVC, MVVM kind of framework also, right? MVC and MVVM kind of framework also it's using now. Okay, I will tell what is the MVC and what is the MVVM now, and why it's compatible with, what is that, those frameworks now. Somewhere I wrote, I think I remember that I explained that one. Okay, don't worry about that. Again we will understand those things, right? Again we will understand those things, guys. Okay, but the thing is, if we are preparing, what is that, any document, guys, please read once before starting the session, because Angular framework we are taking in the just weekend only, right? So much gap is there. Regular session is not happening about what? Angular framework. So before joining the session, if I'm like sending any notes, right, our last session notes, read once, right? Read once, then join, then the thing will be the clear now, guys. Then what is that? Thing will be the clear now. Okay, guys, so let's start it now. Let's start the things. What is the Angular now? So Angular is, what is that? Angular JS, right? Angular JS is, what is that? What is that? Angular JS is a framework. Angular JS is, what is that? Framework, and it is, what is that? Open source, and what is that? Cross platform, right? What is the cross platform means? It's supporting, what is that, mobile also, it's supporting, what is that, computer also, in any it's supporting IoT also, it's supporting, what is that, AI also. That is called, what is that, cross platform, guys. Okay, cross platform now. And it's, what is that, who's developed this now? Who's developed this Angular framework? This developed by developed by, what is that, Google team, right? Google team or Google only, right? Google only. And who's the maintaining this framework now? It's maintained right? Maintained by what is that, large maintained by, what is that, large community of, what is that, organization. community of what is that organization, right? And what is that individuals, individuals now, right? So now, okay guys, so in which the thing is, these things is clear now, but the thing is in which year this, what is that Angular JS, what is that Angular JS framework is introduced. This Angular framework is introduced in the 2010 now. Introduced in 2010. Don't worry, I'm not going to big history of what is that Angular JS. I will not waste the time, but these things is needed guys, okay, to clarify your doubts why we are using. See how I started initially, like using the language JavaScript, then jQuery, then we entered in the Angular JS part. But I need to give this clarity about you, right? Because once if you guys are sitting in interview, definitely 110% interviewer will ask what is the difference between Angular JS and Angular, and what is the difference between like library and framework, right? So I need to clarify those things before starting what is that our Angular or TypeScript. So that's why we are expending the little bit time in the like basic things guys, okay? So we are the developer, we won't need what is the history of language, but some clarity, for the some clarity purpose we need to understand some things guys, because here we are the learner, right? We are there in the learning phase. So that's why I need to explain it. Don't worry about that. By seeing that introduction, like Angular framework is introduced in 2010, so Ravi is going to explain what is the total history of what is that Angular, and he will take 1 week of time. No, just 10 to 5 minutes, that's it. Now what is that, it's introduced in what is that 2010. And why Angular only becoming what, Angular only becoming famous instead of others technology? Because it uses right, it uses like Apache Cordova kind of framework internally, right? Apache Cordova, right? Apache Cordova. And it uses what is that MVC, and what is that MVVM, right? Kind of framework, kind of internal framework. These are also framework. By taking this framework, it's becoming what is that, just what is that we are using the, like if you are the backend developer, like if you are the .NET ASP.NET developer, if you are the like Java developer, so by taking this framework help, right, our Angular framework can able to what is that easily able to interact with what is that different languages framework. So that's why people are using more and more what is that in industry Angular framework only, right? Angular framework only. And what is that, it's a support, what is that, it support two-way binding, two-way binding, right? So these uses in the Angular framework is making more interactive, right? Like our users, what is that, because of that our developer is using what is that Angular framework, right? Angular JS framework. But some issue is there, that's why the people are moving in the Angular, right? Some issues is there, that's why the people is not using in nowadays in industry Angular JS. They are using what, they are using Angular, simple Angular framework, right? Some differences will be there, so we will understand. But these many facilities making more useful in the industry guys, okay, of what is that our Angular framework. But it's not meaning it that it's also having some issues guys, okay? It's also having some issue. That's why what is that people is moving in the Angular only with the just simple, not Angular JS. They are using Angular nowadays, right? So let's understand those things now. So what is the issue with what is that Angular framework? Let's understand those things now guys, okay? So issues with what, issues with what is that Angular JS, issues with what is that Angular JS now guys. So now Angular JS is what is that? Now in the last time people, I don't know, seen or not, what I did whenever I'm using that, I used one library link, right? I used in the header section. Last weekend people are remembered or not? So
Yes, sir.
where I was explaining this one, right? For that jQuery library, whenever I'm using the jQuery library, at the time also I kept what is that one URL in the header section, that is called what is that jQuery library. And whenever I'm working, what is
Yes.
that Angular JS, at the time also in the head section ng model and ng body, all those things, those tags I used, right? So those tags is there, where is there in that library, right? Angular JS framework library means what? Means what? Whenever we are running our application, guys, okay? So if we are putting those framework, sorry, those library in the header section, means what is that? Those library also loading in the browser or not? Come on. Those library also loading in the browser, right? Loading in the
Yes.
So if total, if we are using one or two, if we want only one or two services from the Angular JS, right? And instead of using one or two services, if we are loading whole library, means what is that? Performance is reducing, our application performance is reducing or not, guys? Come on. That is, so that is the issue or not? So that is the issue. That is the issue, right? If we are using the Angular JS, right? Come on. So now, okay, now, and one more things, guys, okay? So whenever we are working with what is that? Whenever we are working with what is that? Angular JS, right? Angular JS, it's using what is that? It's using what is that? Legacy libraries, guys, okay? It's not using newer libraries, right? And what is that? And now whenever we are writing any code in the Angular JS, right? Angular JS, right? Because right, we should good inside, we need to good in the what is that? JavaScript. We need to good in the JavaScript, then we can work in the Angular JS, because our Angular JS internally using what? JavaScript only, right? Because Angular JS is what is that? Angular JS is based on what is that? JavaScript only, and it's not supporting what is that? Strongly type. Okay, so don't worry, everything I will give it now, guys. Okay, everything I will give it now. So issue with what is that? Angular JS now. So it's supporting what is that? Legacy. It's supporting what is that? Legacy library. Now. Okay, now it's slow in what is that? In rendering output. It's slow rendering output now. Okay, so output, why it's a slow rendering the output now, guys? Okay, in the JavaScript, right? What is the style of writing the code now? Just I'm giving one example now, guys. Okay, so I'm writing what is that? Where, let's take x equal to 10. I'm taking the x equal to 10 now. Means what is that? This line is specifying what is that? Number, right? Come on, this line is specifying. I'm talking about in the JavaScript. I'm talking about based on that JavaScript now, guys. Okay, same like after some time we need to use what is that? String data. Then what we did now? We took what is that? Let's take Ravi only, right? Ravi only. So after assigning this Ravi, then what is that? This one also valid. This one also valid. Because before that, by taking the reference of where in the JavaScript, right? JavaScript, what is that? It's a we can reassign string data also. Means what is that? This line also valid. It's not giving any issues, right? In the JavaScript. Means what is that? This is strictly type or not strictly type? Come on. This is strictly typed. Not strictly typed.
Not
Not a search
Not
properly.
strictly typed means, so after some time usage, whenever we will run this application, means what is that, recognizing this kind of facility. Okay, sometime we are using with the same variable, right, number, and sometime we are using that, what is that, another string type variables, right? Then our compiler, it become burden on the compiler, and what is that, interpreter or not, come on, it's becoming, see boss,
Yes,
just
very.
see, like just I'm talking about that small kid is there who don't know anything still, right? Just he's the learner, we are giving that, beta, this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay, now he learn those things, this is A, this is B, this is C, right? After some time, what is that, I'm asking beta, where the A, where the B, where the C, right? Directly that kid said, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. After then again we are asking, tell me where the A, where the A, and that small kid is putting the, our finger on the A. Then what is that, this is A. So then he said yes. Again, really this is A? Then he said yes. Please tell right answer, this is really A. Then what will happen now, that small kid will be started confusing, right? Come on, because he is still, he's
yes,
still, he is still new on that subject, right? So same like what will happen now. So our, don't worry about that, our compiler or interpreter becoming, what is that, confused. But the thing is, if in the same variable, what is that, if we are hitting like multiple kind of data type, means little bit, what is that, burden will come on the interpreter and the compiler, right? So recognizing these things, some code will be there inside that JVM, sorry, interpreter and the compiler. Now that's why our interpreter and compiler will compile, recognize this wording inside that, right? So processing this data, processing this data, it will take little bit more time, little bit more time or not. So means what is that, performance will reduce or not? Come on guys, performance will reduce, means rendering this kind of data, it will take, what is that,
Yes.
the performance will reduce, right? Performance will, what is that, reduce now guys. Okay, now, and Angular JS is, what is that, Angular JS is what, Angular JS is, what is that, Java script based, guys. Okay, Java is script based. Angular JS is, what is that, Java is script based, and what is that, not strongly typed, not strongly type, right? Now strongly type, by seeing the, and it's not supporting, what is that, it's not supporting what, it is not schema based, schema based in handling data, right? It's handling data, right? So these many issues is there, guys. Okay, these many issues is there. So now what we see in that drawback with, what is that, what drawback we see now. So these are the drawback, these are the draw. Now okay, so till now we understood, right? Till now we understood what is Angular, right? Till now we understood what is that, what is Angular, what is Angular JS, right? What is Angular JS now? And even though we seen that, what is that, drawbacks, right? Drawbacks of, what is that, Angular JS, drawbacks of, what is that, Angular JS, right? Angular JS, right? Angular JS. Now fine friends, so by seeing these things, guys, okay, now by seeing these things, what they Angular JS people thinking about that, let's develop what is that, let's develop what is that, let's do some improvisation in Angular JS, right? Let's do some improvisation in what is that, Angular JS, guys, okay. Then what they started now, what they started, the Angular JS team, right? Angular JS team started what is that, designing one platform, guys, okay, developer platform, okay. Then Angular JS people will started what is that, designing one Angular JS platform. Don't worry about that, guys, okay, just be cleared about that. What is the Angular JS? Angular JS is what is that, framework. This is not a platform, this is what is that, Angular framework now, guys. So they are thinking about that, let's do some changes in what, let's do some changes in Angular JS. Then what they started, they started designing what is that, platform for what is that, developers. Now we will understand, first we will understand what is the platform of developers, right? Don't worry about that, guys, okay. If I'm putting anything in front of you, I will get the clear picture about that, then I will move on next level discussions, guys, okay. So now fine, so here what is that, now then what is that, then Angular JS team, right? Team that what is that, team that developed, right? Team that developed Angular JS, right? Angular JS. They started what is that? They started what, designing. What is that? What is the spelling of designing? DESIGN, right? DESISDE.
Yes, I N.
GNIN, right? That is correct.
Yes, design.
Design, right? Design what is that, platform for what is that, for developer, right? So let's first understand what is the developer, like what is that, started designing something, yeah, developer is correct, right? Developer, what is the developer platform? Let's understand what is the developer platform now, guys, okay. What is the developer platform? So developer platform is what is that, any developer platform, what is that, friends, comprises what is that, end to end tool that are what is that, don't think about that, what is that, our JVM is platform. If we are developing our Java application, then what is that, JDK is the platform, JVM is the platform. Don't think about that, right? Okay, our Angular JS platform is different, right? Sorry, developer platform is different, not Angular JS. Developer platform, I'm talking about that. What is that, developer platform now, guys, okay. Developer platform, we are understanding what is the developer platform now, guys. So developer platform comprises what is that, end to end tools, guys, okay, that are required for developer, right? That are required for developer order to build, debug, test, deploy application, right? Deploy application, that is called what is that, that is called what, developer platform, guys, okay. Like developer contents can be what is that, languages, frameworks, tools for building the application, like IDs, these kind of wherever we are building these kind of things, that is called what is that, developer platform now, guys, okay. Developer platform means what is that, any developer, any developer platform, any developer platform comprises of what is that, right, in the tools, right, in the tools that are required, that are required for what is that are required for a developer. developer, right? That is required for what is that? Developer in what is that? In order to what is that? In order to build, in order to build and debug and test, debug and test, and what is that? Deploy also, deploy of application. See, we are developing the application. Whenever we are deploying our application, we need some tools or not, guys? Come on. If we want to test our application, we need some testing tools or not? Or just by knowing
Yes, Ravi.
framework we can do? No, right? We need so many things, right? Come on.
Yes.
So
Yes, Ravi,
means
yes.
means what is that? It's content. What is that? It's content. Contents. What is that? Contents language. Its content. What is that? Its content can be its content. What is that? Framework. Someone is typing also simultaneously, right? Because every time we are getting what is that? Keyboard noises. Don't worry, I will share this, right? I will share this notes. Okay, why you are typing? I don't know, right? So like, what is that? Library, right? Library now, and it's having what is that? It's having some tools, right? Tools for what is that? Tools for what is that? Building, like what is that? IDs, like what is that? IDs, tools for building our application. We need what is that? Some ID, right? So containing all those things, that is called what? That is called what now, guys? Platform for developer. That is called what is that? Platform for developer. Then then they started thinking about that, right? Then what is that? Then Google team, right? Then Google team like new started new platform, guys. Okay, they are thinking about that, and they started now also. They started AngularJS team. They started what is that? Platform was planned, right? Platform was planned for what is that? Web mobile, develop what is that? Web mobile distributed our this AI, right? Artificial intelligence, gaming, and IoT. To develop these kind of applications, they started to developing what is that? One platform. That is Angular GS team started one platform to develop which kind of application now, guys? Mobile application, distributed application, and artificial and gaming. This kind of application, to develop this kind of application, they started to designing what is that? One platform. That AngularJS team is started one platform, right? So then Google, or let's take here itself only, right? Let's take this heading again here. So started designing DESIGNING, right? Designing a platform, right? Platform for what is that? Developer, right? Developer. Now then who is started now? Google team, right? Google started what is that? New platform, right? It was planned, right? It was planned, because these things is not happened now only. It was happened in the past only, right? So was